Now we've come to the midway point in the season, so team of the season. So we go around team of the season so far for us. I think it might be quite similar, so it shouldn't take too long. But you don't have to do it at the midpoint of the season. That's the rules of podcast and Premier League chat.
Yep.
So starting,
do you want me to go through? Or
go through your whole squad, and I'll go through my whole squad. And we'll argue there.
So Vicario. Firstly, before I move on to the next player, that was a 50-50 between him and Alisson.
Okay, cool. So we can debate that one then. Yeah.
Yep. Kufal. I think he's been a very big part of West Ham's progression this year.
Yeah.
I think he's been really good off the right. He's always been solid defensively, but he showed he's got a lot of attacking output as well.
Yeah.
Then Verge and Saliba. I've always been harsh on Verge. I think there's just been such a leak of goals in most Premier League clubs this year that it's hard to really pinpoint any other centre back.
Yeah.
I think there is a couple of names that are out there, but I think Verge has definitely flourished game on game that continues going into the season. At that point when I said it, I think he definitely probably was in and around it, but he's continued to put in another performance and another performance and another performance. Then I go to Udogie. Yeah, that's pretty self-explanatory in my opinion. Rice and Rodri. So going back to the traditional days with the two number sixes. Yeah. And then Palmer, which is my curveball one, I would say. Although he's been so good, I don't know if many people have him in there.
It's a bit of a recent thing, right? We've seen some good performances, so that's why he's there.
And then Salah, Bowen, Son, which I know we're both going to have Salah and Son, but I don't know if you're going to have Bowen. I wouldn't expect so. I think he's just been so good for West Ham. We were talking about this before. He literally is just getting the ball with two centre-backs right on him at all points and turning and just running at the centre-backs. He's creating goals that we're realistically probably have a 0.05 XG and scoring them on a consistent basis as well. And whether he's the best number 9 on an 18th month form basis and everything, I don't know. But off just this season, he's got 11 goals. In a West Ham team who basically every single other player is playing in their defense. This is Brexit at its finest. This is Moyes football. This is traditional back in the day Dyche football. This is the football that we saw so often in the Prem 5+ years ago. And we're looking. That's why Kudus and Paqueta, who are both midfielders, are playing on the flanks. If you see them, they're basically in line with Palmer. They're basically right at the back with Emerson Royale.
Yeah. It's a 4-4-1-1.
Emerson Royale, sorry. With
Emerson,
with Emerson and Kufal playing as deep as them, because you look at Emerson and you look at Kufal, they're basically playing as a 4 centre-backs with them two out wide. It's the funniest thing.
It's the 4-4-1-1, the classic, I
call it more a 4, sometimes a 6.
A 6, a 6?
You see so many times Paqueta retrieve the ball in the corner flag.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But it's working, right? You can't argue that it's working. My team's a little different. Not too much, I think. The core player is the same, though. I've got Alisson in goal.
Yeah, but I'm
6 clean sheets, best defence in the league.
I'm not really wanting to argue that one. I thought it was very 50-50. I think Vicario was better at the start of the season. Alisson's better now.
I would say Vicario's probably made the better saves because he has to see more shots. A bit of a new place to feel but Alisson's just the best in the world, I think.
Yeah, it's just always, you get a bit complacent with people like Alisson who just, especially as a goalkeeper, which is just a position that goes under the radar so often.
Yeah.
You get a bit complacent of how good he's been.
I just feel
and he continually does it. It's just that's an expectation.
Exactly.
Whereas with Vicario, it's more who's this bloke?
So who's his Vicario guy? We've never seen it.
Whereas with Alisson, it's just that's just a typical Alisson performance. But a typical Alisson performance is the best goalkeeper in the world.
I would say, other than Thibaut Courtois, who's injured, I think he literally is the best player in the world.
Yep.
And the best defence in the league, has to go and say there. Left back, I've got Udogie. I think the thing about Udogie, what's underrated is, he's not great positionally, but he always finds a way, like a Wan-Bissaka to or your Tyreek Mitchells to slide in and just get the ball out of nowhere. He's got that closing pace. If he gets the output in terms of across in his game, could be seeing one of the best fullbacks in a long time. So Udogie at left back, Saliba, Van Dijk again. Saliba probably the Rolls Royce, the new Rolls Royce of the Premier League. Van Dijk again, best defence in the league. He's a captain of the best team in the league. Probably the captain in this team for me. Closes down spaces, back to that best, like you were saying. He might be out of picture, but also he's back in picture with this great slide tackle or block, and he leads that back line. It's having to sacrifice the Trent next to him. I've got Walker at right back. So again, right backs I was a bit like, who am I going to put in?
I can see that. I don't think really I have any debates with that.
Walker's played most games, I think, or almost all games for City this season. The Prem haven't been great defensive. They conceded the odd goal here and there, which is unlike City, but probably their most consistent defender in terms of just playing. Like I say a lot, if you're a City player that plays a lot of games. Then I've got Rice and Rodri. I couldn't imagine these two at 6. You're not going to get past the midfield at all.
Definitely not.
There's no way, no chance in hell. And they both got goals in them as well. My number 10, again, it would be Maddison if he was playing, but I've gone with Decore as my number 10.
I like it.
Probably not.
I think it's a weird one. Like, the 3 twin towers in the midfield. We've got 3 6-foot
passes. No, and we've got physical midfield, but, Cole Palmer could be in there. Could put Paqueta in there. I've just gone with Decore to be a little bit different. Such a good player, though. Right now, he's such a good player. And that midfield 3, as you said, I don't think you're going to dribble past it or go bypass that.
It's like a 6 really as well.
Yeah, exactly. So you've got basically 3 6s in there. And then my front 3, I've gone boring. I've basically got all the top goal scorers. We've got Son, 12 goals, 5 assists. Haaland, 14 goals, 4 assists. And Salah, 12 goals, 7 assists as my front 3.
Yeah, I don't have any problems with you putting Haaland. I just put it more based off
You've gone
form.
Purely, yeah.
Like, with this, it's the last 6 months.
Yeah.
And I know Haaland had 14 goals, but like, it's
a viewpoint thing. 100%.
I don't think he's been as good as Bowen this year. And I think that's a very, very fair view.
That's a valid point. Because I think, Bowen's been performing out of his skin in a pragmatic team that doesn't score many goals and he's scoring it. So I guess we've basically got most of the same players. We've got a different striker, a different cam, and a different right back. But other than that, I think we agreed on the rest of them.
Yeah.
So that's good from us, considering. If Flynn was here, I reckon he would have a very different tank. We always seem to have someone who's different on the couch, but that was good nonetheless.